You are listening to the Two Fans and a Bandwagon podcast. And we are too fab.
Same great team, different hat.
I was going to say, the pinstripes.
Yeah, Biddy. This is like an old-time hockey one, I think.
Like if hockey did baseball?
Like the one you talked me into buying?
Old-time hockey.
Old-time hockey.
I didn't talk you into buying shit. You sat there indecisive in between periods. I'm like, I'm
so bad.
The game is starting. I forgot you in hats. It's probably a bad idea. We should have went after the game.
Didn't mean to torture you like that.
I think by then we were too like in the bag, and then like coming down off of our beer buzz, eating those ridiculous like waffle fries or whatever they were with like. No, I got that supreme waffle fry. What did you get? Like just a sausage or something? It was like waffle fry with like cheese,
you know what? I can't remember
chili,
right now.
And it was so good. But it was probably so good because we had like God knows how many beers.
Paid $37 for it.
Yeah, I think it was like $12.50 or something. Yeah, it was a lot. And then wash it down with my $13.75 Canadian.
Just think of how much beer can it cost when they eventually allow you to go back and.
Oh my God, they're gonna skyrocket it.
Be like $29 beers. Yeah, but you get 1.5.
Yeah, we made it a little bigger. Oh, thanks. Made it a little bigger and tripled the price just for you. Welcome to the NHL, buddy. Well, I'll have you guys know that my predictions thus far on this podcast have been awful.
That's because
in episode 1, said that the Vancouver Canucks would win the North Division. Woo!
Pretty sure I
what
said that
a dumb.
It's not over yet.
I don't think you said that. I don't think you picked Vancouver to win it. I did have Toronto in second, and I think Vancouver was a pity thing. What? I then picked the Ravens to beat Green Bay in the Super Bowl, like an idiot. And then on the last one before we left, we just did a little Monday night hockey thing. I picked all the home teams, right? Remember? All the away teams won. I went 0 for 3. And I don't know if you guys remember who you picked, but I... Oh, Matt looks at his notes. Hold on, I take notes.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume I got them all right.
Okay, Chris won that one. Nice.
Well, that was what were the games? You remember the games? Because I can tell you.
I could literally rewind it here. Hang tight.
This is a lot of effort. There's more effort.
No. I got all the information at my fingertips here. Hold on. NHL scores. Google is the best for being able to like rewind time on the scores. Oh, excuse me. That would have been Monday, February 15th. The 3 Canadian games were the Habs Leafs, and that was that beautiful game where the Leafs blew a 5-1 lead and lost in overtime.
Not to the Habs, that was Ottawa.
Oh, sorry. Ottawa. The Habs logo was right there on the other game, so I just went Habs Leafs because the other night. Listen, I can't. I gotta
make me fact check you.
Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, the Sens blew that game to the Sens, and then game 2 was Jets Oil. Jets beat the Oil, and then Flames Nucks. Flames beat the Nucks, and that's the 3 away teams won.
I don't think I picked the same as you, but I feel
you
like
picked the Sens for sure because Matt and I laughed at you. And you now look who's laughing. Now who's laughing?
Yeah.
And then I think we picked the Oilers and
the Oilers.
Yeah. And then I can't remember what Matt picked, but
so the overall victory is me predicting that Ottawa would come back from a 5-1 deficit.
Matter.
In overtime.
It doesn't matter. Are those earbuds with a wire?
They are.
Not on mine. Is that headphone?
My man, getting rid of the Bluetooth technology.
They're in my gym bag.
Oh, too far.
I was too lazy to go get him.
Yeah, I hear you. God, do I ever hate Pasternak? Pasternak scores 34 seconds to game versus Flyers. Ugh. Thank God he was injured at the beginning of the year.
Because he's a Bruin.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I do. I really do.
So when he's on the Leafs in 3 years, you're gonna fucking just love him.
I will.
But he'll be
burn all my
up.
Maple Leafs equipment if he does.
I don't know. I don't think you would.
Let's move on to our next prediction here. Hot takes going around, obviously. 56 game season. The proposal that Connor McDavid scores over 100 points. He's clearly lighting it up almost at a 2-point per game pace. Do you think he does it?
Yes.
Matt, do you think Connor McDavid hits 100 points?
For sure.
For sure. And I will also say McDavid hits 100 points. The next one that's out there, Austin Matthews on a tear. 50 goals in 56 games. Already injured one game, 55 games. 50 goals in 55 games. Is it possible? Will he do it? He is on pace currently for 55 goals.
No. And that doesn't come out of a place of hate either. I'm just saying I don't actually think he's going to get 50 goals. I think that you're going to see some of these lower teams, like Vancouver, fucking actually starting to play well. You know? You're going to see teams like Montreal that are going to give him a hard time, even though I know they didn't give him a hard time last time.
But they didn't in the prior 3 games, so that's respectable.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
And if you look at that schedule that the Leafs have and the Habs have, they play each other a lot at the end of the year. Like they play 4 games. The last 6 games of the year is all like Habs Leafs. So that could be the break.
They're riding a tidal wave. They're riding a tidal wave, and it's going to come crashing down.
I'm supporting your decision. I want to hear from Matt now, please. Shh.
I am going to say Matthews will not hit 50 goals in 55 games.
I respect that. Now, to keep
having said
my
that,
terrible prediction streak, Matthews will score 50 goals this season, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Okay, what would you give him for total points for this season?
If he's going to get 50 goals, he'll probably have like 20 to 30 assists. I'll say somewhere in the 80 points for Austin Matthews.
Yeah, I can basically see the hard-on through the fucking camera there, okay?
It's not that impressive, so I'm surprised you could see it.
Just fucking tone it down is all I'm saying. Got a fucking bitch-ass dash, and he's gonna get fucking picked up hard in the second half of the season. You're gonna see people hitting them. You're gonna see teams like Ottawa that don't give a fuck anymore when they've gotten 7 wins on the season and 36 losses, and they're gonna. Well, that's like the end of the season, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna go in there and they're just gonna start hurting them, and they're gonna start to turtle.
We'll see. Hey. This is only coming out of anyone's mouth or even a thought because he's just been on a tear for 2 weeks, and that tear can quickly come to a halt with like 3-game slide, and all of a sudden it's not even a question anymore. He literally has to score a goal a game pace to do this, which is asinine to even think he can. The last person to even come close to doing this was obviously Wayne Gretzky, did it in 39, and I'm sure Mario Lemieux had a season like that at some point too, where he scored way too many goals in a very quick, amount of time. I don't know Mario's stats, but I'm sure he was the other one that was even, came close. And then obviously Ovi had like his 60 whatever goal season where he was nearly scoring like a goal a game. Maybe like, what was that, like 8 to 10 years ago when Ovi did that 60 goal season, 60 something. I don't know why, but 68 comes to mind. I don't know if that's how many he scored that year, but it was a lot. He scored like 5 or 6 hat tricks that year. So he went like, he might have went like a gap or like 2 games where he didn't score, but then he would score like a hat trick, 2 goals, a hat trick, 1 goal in the next 2 weeks of play, and whoop, he made up that little drought.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think Matthews has added.
Let me ask you, Dan.
Yeah, bring it on.
Do you think that Marner will have the most points on the team?
On the team, yes. because he's so versatile and he plays everywhere. He's on the penalty kill, he's on the power play, and he plays 5-on-5 on the first line with Austin Matthews. And Sheldon Keefe puts him in situations where he can score more points than where Austin can.
Okay.
So, yes.
So do you think he would be in the 100-point mark as well?
I think in the 80s as well. I think McDavid's going to run away with it, as he is already basically doing. He scored 5 last night after the Leafs went up on Montreal like they did, and Austin and Mitch both scored a handful of points, and the murmurs in that game were, Austin and Mitch are now tied for second with Draisaitl in scoring, and then McDavid goes and scores 5 points.
Murmur.
Murmur.
The murmur in that game. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think, bro?
Go ahead.
It was 65 in 07-08.
I think that...
So he scored that in his 3rd season. He had 65 goals in 82 games. That's when he had his unreal season. And then multiple 50-goal seasons to follow. 3 in a row.
We're talking Ovi now?
Oh, I'm just touching on his... I just wanted to see if 68 was right, but it was 65. Back in 07-08.
Crazy.
Yeah. Shooting percentage of 15%. Nuts.
Like fucking like LeBron James out there that year. Just didn't give a fuck. Shot everything he got. Anyways, I was going to say
you didn't make a baseball reference, Chris. I thought you were the baseball guy, and you were going to bring like an A-Rod comment in there.
The guy down below me. No, I was just going to say I think that there's already a Leafs at lunch, so we don't have to talk about Marner and Matthews like they're the 2 fucking gods of our goddamn podcast.
Did you see the hat I brought to this show? In the game they played?
Let's talk about the Oakland Athletics. I'd rather talk about the Oakland Athletics right now. No idea who's on that team.
Can you feel the hate? Can you feel it?
It's not hate.
I will have you know Austin Matthews is shooting at a 24% rate this season. That is insane. Carry on. Sorry. The Athletics. I apologize. The superior conversation to have when the season is well underway. We should talk the Athletics. You're correct. Matt, what do you got to say about the Athletics? Tell us something we don't know about Oakland.
Oh, boy. I don't know how far back I can go to get you to something you don't know. I think they've done it right over the last couple of years being in the position they are, and they've got there, and they've had some really watchable baseball.
Obviously, with their, are you talking like with their money ball structure is what you mean by doing it right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they've really put together some good teams. They've lost some good players because of it, but I think this Marcus Semien coming to the Jays and filling up the infield is going to be gold. I think he's going to make a difference, and that will definitely help the team.
Hot take there, Chris. Did you expect that perfect answer like that?
Did Semien come from the A's?
Yeah, from Oakland, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning about baseball.
Hey.
I was like, how did we 180 into the Jays?
This
I thought I was
is
going to learn something about the Oakland Athletics.
Hey, we're Canadian here. We all know who we root for, right? For the most part.
I didn't know where Semien came from. So
I mean, Matt can show his true colors and tell you who his real fandom is, but we'll keep that a secret for now. We'll see if over time you can figure out who his real team is. Okay, Chris?
Is it the Dodgers? Because it seemed like it was the Dodgers last time.
No. I don't know if it's the Dodgers. I don't know. It'll come out one
I can
day.
keep you going on that one.
Right now he's in the closet about it, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, I busted out of the closet on that one.
Ooh.
I tripped.
And trip on the way out?
Yeah, got that right.
Oh, my gosh. Scores from around the league here, guys. Looks like Boston's up on Philly in that Lake Tahoe game.
How many games did they play there today?
How many games did they try to play before the ice failed on them? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I didn't really.
Just the
I
one.
didn't follow.
I mean, they played the one yesterday. They're playing another one today.
It looked like a pretty setting.
No, it sure looked pretty, though.
Yes,
Hey,
it's picturesque.
that's what I said.
I was told you, I was talking to my mom before this, and she brought it up because Gord was watching it on TV because he's a Bruins fan, and she said the same thing. Very picturesque, very beautiful. Because my point was like, if they're having ice issues, just do what they did with the other one and play it in the middle of the night, so that there's no sun blaring on it. And then she's like, well, it's pretty. And I was like, oh, right. They put it there so that people could see this site. I get it. So they have to play it.
Oh, dude. Very picturesque.
Yeah.
But while you were talking to Mom, we touched based on this, sir.
Okay.
We touched based on Springer, Simeon, Chet, Hernandez.
Oh, we're talking
Guerrero.
Are we talking starting lineup here? Like 1 through 9? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Biggio.
Yep.
Gurriel. Rowdy Tellez. Then I guess any catcher on the Jays team after that, but they've got Danny Jansen listed. Does this mean the Jays can hang with the Yankees, the Rays, and possibly the Red Sox? And we'll just discount the Orioles?
Chris. Batting? Yes.
Batting.
I'm still suspect on that rotation. I don't know if they have that rotation. But what is a starting five in baseball to me from watching from like an onlooker that like, hey, we did our totem poll last week. I'm a baseball guy. I can get into it, especially when the Jays are doing good. I can really bandwagon it. Theming. But from what I've noticed from, someone who's not like as in tune with baseball as you, Matt, but still has a good sports eye, is your rotation is an ace, a guy, a number two that's like clawing at being an ace, and is the next ace in line, or is the prospect ace that's being traded because he is actually an ace and he's not getting paid, right? So you have a real strong 1-2, and then your 3, 4, 5 are just young guys or old guys that are just having a season. You know what I mean? Like it's like they put it together that year, and that team made the push because those 3, 4, 5 put it together finally. And then 2 years down the road, you go, what happened to that guy that was the fifth in the rotation on that team that won the World Series? He's gone now. He went away. I find baseball is a lot of that. So on any given Sunday, I think the Blue Jays or any team without a good set 5 rotation can find those diamonds. And yes, all of a sudden they are competing for that league championship. But on paper, I don't think they stack up in their rotation.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I think they've definitely got their ace, but I don't know how the other 4 are going to fall in. And they're going to be relying on the bats, I would imagine, every game after that. Big time,
right? And we all know baseball, in most sports, defense wins championships. The old mantra, right?
Yeah. You're right there.
But when you got this guy slugging, look at it. For anyone listening and not watching our blowing up YouTube channel with our 7 subscribers, that's a Gem 10 Bo Bichette rookie card. Mind you, it's probably like the cheapest one you can find in a Bowman paper, but maybe one day. Is he still like baseball's number? I mean, I know he's not a prospect anymore.
He's not a prospect anymore.
Yeah, but is he still like baseball's like number 1 young guy? Like, did he surpass Vladdy for that role in these past couple of years? From what I've seen, I think he has, because he brings more utility to the table than Vladdy's. Vladdy's got pop, right? He's got that power, but defensively suspect. Where Bo brings that on-base percentage and that defensive paralysis and that speed, that whole 5-tool player thing that Vladdy definitely doesn't have. Do you think he's one of the best young players in the league right now?
Definitely,
Vladdy?
100%.
No, Bo.
Bo
And
is definitely the best one.
I agree. I think he surpassed Vladdy last year, if not even the year before, for, what he brought to the table. It was like, whoa. With all this talk about Vlad, it's like, hold on. Look at this kid. He's unreal. So I hope he can keep it up. And that's why I bought those cards rather than
Vladdy. I think they're both fucking great. They're both fun to watch.
So much so I bought another couple.
Fucking guy.
Let's hope it pays off.
Okay, here's something interesting about baseball that I just read the other day, okay?
Yep.
So Tatis Jr. there, right? Signed at $340 million.
Mm-hmm. Was this
Big
the guy
deal.
who signed the 14
years?
years? Yeah.
14 years, $340 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's not that impressive. Like it's a big number over 14 years.
It's the term that's scary, right?
The term is insane. And but like baseball, like somebody's gonna play 5 or 6 seasons there. If he has a bad go, he can get traded. But anyways, not the important thing. The interesting thing was I was reading all these articles and there was a lot of anger towards investing investment fund that he owes $27 million to. Out of the contract, he has to pay $27 million to this investment fund that specifically goes out and gives money to young players, young developing baseball players, for a percentage of future contract. Have you heard of this?
No.
They're fairly new. It's a very new thing. I think they started in 2018. And there's a bunch of big celebrities that own pieces of this investment company, and it's all their money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go and they put it into who they think is going to be great when they get to the league. If they get to the league, they get, well, I don't know how much 27 million of 340 is, but it's like about 8%, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, it's interesting. They've currently have invested money in over like 300 young prospects, I believe. And there's a lot of like,
never heard of
I'll
this.
call. You've never heard of it? No, me neither. I just read this the other day, but I thought it was crazy because
what does it net them? Like, what is this investment fund? Like, do the people investing
8% of the contract that he signs in the major leagues?
So he was one of the people that was involved in this. So he has to pay this money out to this
$27 million. Yeah.
Ah.
So the guy who owns this investment fund, I'm not sure off the top of my head who it was, but he was just saying how like Tatis Jr. is the first prospect that they've invested money in since they've opened that has actually netted like a major.
Oh, that paid off like a big
paid off major return.
Huh.
So I thought it was interesting, but what I found the most interesting about it was that a lot of these articles that you read about this have a lot of directed hate towards it, like it's a negative thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't deserve $27 million from him.
Of his money, right?
Of his money, right?
But
and
what did they give to that like young prospect to get him to that point? Is that why they're getting those returns?
Yes, you sign a contract.
So they're investing in the player when they're younger, so that when they do make it, you take some of his money from him. Like it's almost like a commission for.
It's almost like having an agent.
It's almost like,
but instead of paying for an agent, this company said, we will fund you. We'll fund you to get you to your baseball games. You need new cleats. You need new equipment.
But
whatever
when
you
need.
When you
sign big time, we're taking 8% off the top.
Yeah. So when you sign,
never heard of
we're
that.
taking a percentage of what you get as a buyer.
So it's like almost like being sponsored.
As investment fee,
right?
It's
like
like
sponsored.
It's like a sponsor, yes. Very similar. But it's a totally different concept. Like it's not. They're not agents. Like they don't actively then go and try and like
sign you. They're just there financially backing you until you get to that contract. And when you sign that contract, we take our top.
Exactly.
Never heard of that before ever. Interesting. I don't see how that's negative, other than maybe it hurts people who don't sign the mega deals. Like if they're still scraping 8% off of the guy who signed the $500,000 minor league deal, that's where the big oof is, right? Because then you're really touching his pocketbook. What's 27 million of 400 million, right? It's like, oh well, that's the tax in some states, right? So, interesting.
So the company called Big League Advance.
Okay, cool.
So they give a quick example here. Big League Advance offers a minor leaguer $100,000 up front for 1% of his earnings. That player can then decide to accept, let's say, $500,000 for 5% or $1 million for 10%.
A loan.
Like it's almost like a loan.
It's a sponsorship loan,
but it's being funded. It's being funded by people, like people with money, right? They go and say,
Right.
"I'll give the firm $100 million
Yeah. Cool.
for 8% of it, and then whatever it nets in return."
Right.
Almost
right,
like
right.
a stock, but just for players.
But just on players. And like, is there a due for that player to have to pay this back if it doesn't play out, or is this just here's some free money, we hope you work out so we could take some back from you? Or do they not touch that?
Well, it's in the contract, right? I'm not sure.
Okay,
if
that may
there's
be, is
a
that written up
defined
like
amount.
person to person, or is it yeah, who knows, right?
The more money they're lending out, obviously, the more they want back in earnings. So, if you're a minor leaguer and you have,
Yeah.
let's say,
More
like
in the bigger
$100,000
the
contract,
bigger the loan, the higher the interest, I guess is a simple way to put it.
exactly. Yeah.
Huh. Nice.
But it's an interesting concept because for him being the big star that he is now, he's young, he's getting all this money, and it's like, could he have done it without going to this in player first or whatever the hell it's called?
So
Big League Advance, sorry.
here's the question touching on that, just like money wise and all that. Do you think that the fact that he was signed up to that contract or whatever you want to call it, and he was locked into that, why he went after so much term in order to get such a big payout to pay off this? Do you think that there has to have been a direct correlation?
No, it's not. You're thinking of it wrong. It's not, I have X amount of dollars that I owe them.
No. What I'm saying is they're taking 8% from him, right? So if he made, at 8%, if he made $1 million, what is that? 80,000 they're taking from him,
80,000,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so he didn't want to sign like a 3-year bridge deal at 20 million because his take is smaller. So he goes to his agent and he says, because they're scraping 8 from me, get as much term and as much money as possible, so that the scraping isn't as painful.
That's 8% no matter how you scrape it.
No, I understand that, but do you not think that term was a direct correlation to the fact that he knew he was having 8% of his money taken from him? So he's like, get as much as possible. So the team came back with this ridiculous term offer.
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he can net his larger.
So he
amount.
can net his larger amount over time.
His like a safety net, right?
Correct. Because if he doesn't,
and then
pan
in
out,
5 years he has to sell his contract or whatever. He's not on the hook, or not losing out on it because he lost 8% off the top. Yeah,
I bet you that's why that
possibly.
term was so ridiculous. Because when have you heard of a 14-year deal?
Yeah,
that's stupid. From a business standpoint, that's insane, right?
Yeah.
With baseball, what is he going to have, an Iron Man streak like Cal Ripken and like
No.
Like, and this is
No
going
such
to be
thing as that anymore in
the
baseball.
best like investment of all time. 14 years from now, we're going to be like, what a deal. No, we're going to be looking at this in 5 years. It's going to come up that like, what did we do? So even like, especially in salary cap, but I guess baseball doesn't have a salary cap, so who cares?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Touched on that.
What do you think of that term, Matt?
Going with the AG is now and the way baseball goes, the term is not bad, but will it be something that they will have a problem moving with later on?
14
Like, can they move him
years.
and the contract?
14 years. If there was an easy way to look it up, to find the percentage of players that are in the majors that have a career over 10 years is probably so low. You know how rare it is to have a sustained career through any sport over 10 years? And you're going to sign this guy to 14? I don't care how good you are. How many stories are there of the fizzled out superstar? Too many to count. I think 14 years is insane. Insane. I get what your point with how young he is. But like, if you want the rights to a player for that long, I guess you have to pay that much money nowadays, right? Like, that's what the Blue Jays did with Vladdy, right? They signed him to like a 5-year extension out of his entry level or whatever.
Yeah.
So they have the rights to him until he's like 27 or something, or 28 or whatever the hell it is. and I guess that just
Yeah.
wasn't an option for the money. What was Vladdy's like 5-year extension, 60 million or something? They just gave him money right away and said, "No, we're locking you up through your bridge year contract right now." I guess that his situation didn't apply.
Now sponsored by Bugles.
Hashtag ad. Hashtag not an ad. Yeah, I haven't had a bugle in forever.
Really good. I
Yeah,
haven't had them in forever
remember.
either. And
You
then-
know, this is my bugle memory. This is going to be a throwback. Remember grade school? Do you remember what was it called when entrepreneurship? Did you guys ever, Matt, I don't know if
Yep.
you would have, but Chris, you would have remembered like doing the entrepreneurship elective, and then like at the end of the year there was a culmination where you had like you brought your business to the gym and you would sell
Yeah.
stuff. James
you bought 4,000 boxes of
bugles and sold them just off the top like that at a 20% markup. No, he came up with a thing where he would dip them in whipped cream, and you would just eat a dipped bugle in whipped cream. And this was his company, dipped bugles in whipped cream. And then I don't know, you would just like put them in like a little cup, and it cost like $0.25. He sold all of them. They were so good. So if you ever have the chance, get some whipped cream, bugle, give it a try.
And like a salt
Delicious.
flavored one or a nacho flavored or
Just like
What?
original or whatever. Yeah.
original is like salted.
Yes. So like imagine sweet and salty, right? It works. But he was a visionary. Yeah, he sold out of his bugles and whipped cream. It was nuts. That's where the things of like where like duct tape wallets and like pop tab belts came from, was entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
The good old days. The days of good and old. Matt, what you doing over there?
I was just trying to see what kind of players had
Or were you
years of
I
service.
was gonna say, were you
15 or
looking?
more.
Were you looking up the stat of
15 or more?
Yeah.
Bartolo Colon, the only one I can think of. That dude played baseball forever.
Yeah. Is there a lot of them?
Yeah, the first one that came to mind, and I probably didn't ask the question right, but the first one I could come up from memory was Evan Longoria from Tampa Bay to San Francisco, and he's got 12 in right now.
But
I
you see-
couldn't think of anything else off the top
so
of my
Evan
head.
Longoria, 12 years in. Does he not seem like an
Yeah.
elder statesman in the league? And that's only 12 years. Like he's been
That's-
around
yeah.
forever.
Is he married to
14
Eva
years
Longoria?
is insane. Like
That's just-
hold on. No, serious for a second. What are some like players that you think of like man, like he had a great career? Just off the top of your head, tell me someone that had a great career that not necessarily like a superstar. Let's not go like Derek Jeter or anything like that. Just think of a Blue Jay, think of a Yankee, think of a Red Sox. You go like, man, like
Gregorius.
Didi Gregorius.
Yeah.
He's young still.
Not oh fuck, who am I thinking then? Who's the big dark man on the mound there?
Dark man on the mound.
Fuck, what's his name?
Sabathia.
CC
CC
Sabathia.
Sabathia.
CC
That's,
Sabathia.
Yes, that's the
Okay,
guy I'm thinking of.
whoa, you lit me up
He,
last
he was
week.
old as shit.
Right. And he had a long career.
Yeah,
Okay, let's see how long he
I
played.
think
for.
he did. We'll find out right now.
He played 19 seasons.
Oh, I'm for sure he's
19
So
seasons.
he
There
did-
you go.
So there you go, right? So there's one
I'm
of
winning. I'm winning.
them. Right. But
be
when
right back.
when was there a definite decline in his play? Like 5-6 years ago, right? And he like just retired. So that's like at the end of that 14-year deal. You see what I mean? It's scary. It's a scary deal.
What'd I miss?
Matt, give me another one. Give me a name
Yeah, he was
Sponsored by
Pull a
Rated
player.
Energy Drinks.
that you feel like had a great career. Just obscure.
I would say, I can't go obscure yet, but I think Poppy would have had about 13 or 14 seasons in too.
Big Poppy. That's not obscure. He's talking like,
Ortiz is a superstar.
Roger.
No, I know.
Clemens.
I couldn't get
Nobody.
that fast.
20 seasons.
Poppy?
Yep, 20 seasons.
Okay,
And
so there are
I would
guys
argue
that
I would
been
argue
20
with
years.
Poppy that he didn't really have like a decline. Like I think he lit it up for his 20 years. Let's be honest, right? He was a legend.
What about Fielder? There you go. There's one.
That's obscure. And you think of Fielder, you go
Prince
like,
Fielder is
yeah,
like
great prospect, started to really hit the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if he played only like 10.
because he's retired now.
Don't call him retarded.
I said retired now.
Oh, retired now. Rude.
Retired now.
What's
he at?
Hold on. It doesn't just say he played X amount of seasons like the last guys. The last guys just had a thing. Played this many seasons, and it was easy to find. 2005 to 2016. Only 11 years.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go. There's someone you're like, man, Prince Fielder, slugger, great career, you know, chances at awards.
11 seasons and he was done.
So that's
And he
where
was
that
done,
14
done.
years is scary, right? That's just my opinion. It's an opinion show. So
Who's that baseball player that gets paid every year by the Red Sox?
the players that are still getting on
No,
contracts.
but there's a fucking guy.
There's tons of them.
He's famous. He got traded, and in his fucking
Yes,
trade
I know.
clause, he gets like $1 million every year,
No
And
matter
they
what.
still have to pay him. They still have
and they
to
have
pay
to
him.
continually pay him. There's a team that's on the hook for paying him, and he's like 70 now.
What?
Who the fuck? You never heard this story?
No, that's amazing. But what a deal. Who's his
Yeah,
agent?
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
what
think-
they're saying. He got traded because, yeah, it's a crazy story, but it had something to do with like his contract, and like he had this long contract, and he was hurt, and they didn't want to fucking deal with it.
You know more about
But-
the obscure things of basketball and baseball than you do of the actual sport.
Yes,
So it's bugging me because I know who Chris is talking about. But
you know
but
the story like I do.
Yeah, but the team at the time thought it was going to be cheaper to give them $1 million a year
Then pay out the
Then to
for
pay out
contract.
the
this
contract at the time.
than
Yeah.
to rather pay out the contract.
I can find this. Baseball player being paid. Still getting paid. There we go. Bobby Bonilla,
Sounds about right. Yeah,
former baseball player, still receives $1.2 million a year from the Mets
the Mets.
on July
you go.
1st.
Bobby Bonilla.
Widely known as Bobby How do you say it? Bonilla? Bonilla? Bobby Bonilla.
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 He's collected those payments for a decade and will do so through 2035.
There you go. Okay, so it's coming up. It's almost over.
Yeah, halfway there basically.
But he's been collecting.
So basically it's like a
he's been
third-
longer than a decade.
We'll say like 35 million. Well, since 2000. So 35 years they're going to pay him out from 2000 to 2035. So basically we'll say like $35 million just to make it easy. Forget the 0.2 at $1 million a year. I guess it was his contract worth like 50 million, and so they said, "Yeah, we'll do this deal instead." And
Something like that.
yeah, okay, cool, right on.
But he like.
I mean, it's not
when
like the
he
Mets
started
don't have the
collecting
money.
these
The Mets can
payments,
afford
he was
that.
never going to play baseball again.
Yeah,
That was the whole thing. It was like you literally have to pay for this guy that you're going to pay $34 million for over the course of 34 years.
yeah, whatever.
But
As
still-
long as it doesn't affect their their salary cap. Oh wait, never mind. Right, because something like that in a salary cap sport would sting. It's like, yeah, you're on the hook salary cap for 35 years for $1 million. That's a player.
Yeah.
That's a fourth liner in hockey, right?
It's not hard when your salary cap in baseball is fucking $300 million a year for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
What's $1 million? Nothing.
Oh man, we're so unorganized in our podcast, hopping here, there, and everywhere.
What do you mean? It's all been about baseball.
It's beautiful.
Okay,
It's been a beautiful flow. Come on, shut up, Dan.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but I want to bring up some something interesting too.
Oh, you're bringing something to the table. I like it.
Yeah, Carey Price deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, this one. I
And
remember
will
you
be-
saying you wanted to talk
It
about
will
this.
be in the Hall of Fame at the end of his career, regardless if he wins a Stanley Cup or not. Regardless. Actually, I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't win a single cup. Because,
How
I mean,
many
it's
players
Montreal.
get into the Hockey Hall of Fame a year? Let's start with that.
I don't know. It's
I don't,
a handful,
I
right?
I just want to look things up because I was brash in my decision saying I don't think he should make it before. So let me actually do some research.
You were not brash.
Let me do some
okay?
research.
You were so fucking vocal and insistent that he does not deserve it.
I think
And
that's
will
what
not
brash
deserve
means.
it until he wins a Stanley Cup.
I'm going to Google the definition of brash because I'm not good at English.
Brash.
I'm looking it up.
Will he not
Self-assertive in a rude, noisy,
in
overbearing
Canadiens
way.
history?
Kind of like
You
I'm
guys
doing right now. I'm being very brash. So yes, I think I chose the right word. Sorry, Matt. What did you say?
I think he gets in just for being the winningest goalie in Canadiens history.
Yeah. There's a okay, you can bring up his stat list and compare it currently, right now, as it is right now. He's been in the league, what, 12, 13 seasons, I think it was? Maybe 14? How long Carey Price been in the league? He's been in the league forever. You compare how long he played, how many games he's played, save percentage, all his stats. They meet or exceed.
Four
Like,
players a
at
year
least.
go in. 4 players a year.
Okay, but what is your eligibility? There's usually a block, right? From the time you retire,
Yeah.
there's like a 5-year block.
Yes and no. No, there's definitely a thing, but there's been players that have like retired and the next day they're elected into it. You know what I mean? There's a thing. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna do some reading and see if I can find the actual rules for entry.
But like, I agree with Matt. Like, just hands down, like the most wins for a goalie on fucking Montreal and a Canadian team. I know the Hockey Hall of Fame is not a Canadian thing, even though it's in Toronto and it's like hosts a lot of Canadian players, but still. And with all those wins on those Canadian teams, like they had some strong teams, like they had some strong teams over the years, but like never like cup contending teams, obviously, because they never won a cup. But the only thing I ever agreed with you on, Dan, was that he shit the bed in the playoffs, and he has in the 2 seasons that he went to the fucking playoffs, 2 or 3, I think it was 2. He did fuck all. But I just
Okay.
you're not the only person like that has ever said
Yeah.
that. Oh, Price is
So let me read you this little blurb here.
all right. That wasn't reading. That was gibberish.
Retired for 3 years.
So 3 years
And
or
must
more.
be
you gotta
nominated
retired?
and elected by an 18-person selection committee. The waiting period is waived for 10 players that were deemed exceptionally notable. Dit Clapper. What a great name.
Dick Clapper.
Dit, not Dick. Dit,
Oh.
D-I-T, Clapper in 1947.
How can he be that good if I'm never?
That's a
fucking-
great name. Dit Clapper was in 47, Maurice Richard in 61, Ted Lindsay in 66, Red Kelly in 69, Terry Sawchuk in 71, Beliveau 72, Gordie Howe in 72, Bobby Orr 79, Lemieux in 97, and Wayne Gretzky in 1999 were the 10 players that were
He was the last
exceptional.
one.
Yeah, Wayne was the last one that didn't have to have a waiting period for a good reason. Let's be honest.
Interesting. There's another thing I want
He's
to
the
talk
great
about.
one. So, anyways,
Okay, so Price has been around since 07-08 seasons.
Okay, so yeah, 13, going on 14 seasons. Like, he's fucking storied in the league, man. Like, and a lot of people still look at him as like this. Hey, don't give me that look.
I'm not saying anything.
14 seasons.
This is a podcast.
14
It doesn't have to be
seasons.
visual like that.
We were just talking about how in baseball, a guy can't make it fucking 14 seasons, and in the NHL, sometimes that's the case too. Like, I mean, most guys play 15 years, right? I think, as long as they're a half decent player. But like, for where he is right
Yeah.
now,
I'm just looking at the previous year's selections here, and I think he'll make it probably first ballot.
yeah. Like,
yeah, like for
not
example,
selection,
like
for nominations.
no, people that got into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and that are like, I don't know, like let's say questionable.
What about like let's do the last 2 years. Can you tell us the last 2 years?
Yeah,
Timu Solani in there, probably.
you know,
I'm trying to think of guys that would retire.
Okay, let's do 2019. I mean, man, these are legends. So maybe not. I don't know if he'll get in right away. Let's see. I'll read more.
He's gonna get in.
Relax. The last goalie was Kim St. Pierre last year. IIHF Canadian hockey player, but we're talking NHL here. Last goalie NHL, Marty Brodeur in 2018. So he has to stack up to Marty Brodeur first of all.
Pile up the stats. Brodeur's pretty impressive, I know.
Dominic Hasek after that. Roguey Vashon. It seems like they elect a goalie like every okay, the last decade of goalies. I'll put what he's up against as a goaltender making the Hall of Fame, okay? Got to remember there's only one goalie on the ice at all times on the team, right? Let's do the last 20 years, 15 years, starting at Patrick Roy. Obvious Hall of Famer. Everyone would agree with Patrick Roy. 2006. Didn't have another goalie elected for 5 years. Eddie Belfour. I think Eddie Belfour speaks for himself. Okay. Let's scroll down. Another 3-year wait. Dominic Hasek. There's the first one that didn't win a cup in that stretch.
Hasek didn't win a cup?
No, I don't believe he did. Unless he did with Detroit in the latter years, but I don't think he did. Let me correct myself. No, I don't think he did. I'll maintain that he didn't.
I'm with you on that one.
2016, after Hasek, was Roguey Vashon. Obviously, someone who sat on the... he was an old... played for the Habs, the Kings, and the Wings in the 70s and 80s. So he was one of those players... Probably, I don't want to say like a pity thing, but like he sat up there for a long time eligible. They finally put him in. I don't know what the story is behind that. I could be completely wrong. Then 2018, Marty Brodeur. Those are your NHL goalies. Do you think Carey Price is in the conversation with those 4 goalies I just named?
Yes. Bring up the stats.
He's in there with 3 of them for sure.
I don't know if he is, but all right.
Look at a guy like Belfour, right? 1 cup.
Eddie
But
the Eagle's a legend.
he's a legend, yes. I know. Got 1 cup. 1 fucking Stanley Cup. Played in a lot of playoffs. Did really well. He's an amazing goaltender. But had teams. He had teams with him. He had the early 90s fucking Leafs, for fuck's sakes.
Man. I don't know.
Carey Price had been playing in Montreal. That's...
Yeah, Carey Price is 21st on the all-time win list. Ahead of him, current player still playing, Pekka Rinne is ahead of him. Ryan Miller is ahead of him, and Marc-Andre Fleury is ahead of him. I'll tell you right now, Marc-Andre Fleury on the first-time ballot is getting in well before Carey Price. Marc-Andre Fleury is a first
I'm not
ballot
disagreeing with
Hall
that.
of Famer.
I agree. I was just going to bring that up. I was going to say you look at a guy like Marc-Andre Fleury, too. Fleury had a few 1 cup in Pittsburgh. Fuck, I think the 1 cup he had
Fleury
was City.
had...
Because fucking he got injured. And Murray came in and won the cup.
He was playing behind Murray. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't shake a stick at Marc-Andre Fleury. Legend. You know what I mean?
I'm shaking my stick.
I think you look at a guy like Fleury and you would put him right at around where you put Carey Price.
I don't know, man. I don't necessarily.
Is in,
yeah, Hasek's in.
He's in.
Yep. So Hasek is
in. Price is in.
Right. We'll wait and see. I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer at this point in his career. The minute he wins a cup, he is. But he has to win that cup, in my opinion.
He has to win the cup?
Yeah. To be first ballot. I'm not saying that 7 years down the road when there's an empty spot and he's still eligible, they put him in there. that'll probably happen. But
you say it like he doesn't like you're talking about like Vashon, like it was just a pity thing.
I'm not necessarily saying, I don't even know that story behind him. I'm just
I think you need to look up and think and like truly think about like the level of skill in the league now versus like where it was 20 years ago.
mm-hmm.
Do you think the teams that were playing 20 years ago that were playing rough and tough hockey had to deal with the same kind of fucking difficulty that Carey Price has had to deal with for the last 14 seasons?
Yeah.
Like you look at like I think when did he go to the playoffs? Like 2011, 2012, something like that. Like that was a new era of hockey coming in. One that was not like, I guess they still have a bit of the old school mentality, but it's become a very European style of hockey, right? It's a shooter's game. It is. That's why you look at guys like Austin Matthews. Like you can't touch skaters anymore. You can't fucking body them. You get fucking majors. You get fines. You get everything. So now these kids come in and they got fucking 40, 50 shots on a goaltender every fucking year. Sorry, Ash is hiccuping. It's making me laugh. And I just think that for what the league is now, for Carey Price to play as well as he has on the team that he has played on, there's no way you could say that he doesn't deserve it. We've all watched him in Montreal and been like, fuck, man, go to another team. Go win a cup. Go win a fucking cup anywhere else. Any other team could use you and do better with what he had to offer, and he's never moved. I don't know why.
He's got an 11-year contract, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you can move guys with contracts,
whatever the hell
right?
it was. Super long contract he signed with them. Like 10 years. I don't know what it was. Up there. Lots of term.
The crazy thing about Price, too, is like right now, he looks in prime.
Like
Fleury,
amazing.
Fleury is tapering off.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Carey Price looks like he's got 5-6 more
Fleury's
seasons
like
in him.
fourth all-time on wins or whatever. Like, he's crazy. He's like a great.
Carey Price will just keep playing, man. He's got a lot left in him.
Hey, I don't disagree. At the end of this, when his contract's over, will he be fifth all-time in wins? And I'm completely wrong here. Maybe. But the conversation, was it not, is he a Hall of Famer today? Because he isn't.
I think he is.
Not right now. At the end of his career.
Because he doesn't have a cup. That's
Correct.
The biggest thing you have for it. Because he doesn't have a cup.
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing for me. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a sports writer on this ballot that votes them in.
How many of those guys that won cups won them with one team? None of them.
What do you mean?
Like, how many of them guys stuck to one team for an entire season and won a cup? None of them. They all moved.
Brodeur would have, right?
Are you talking about like Patrick Wall won it? Patrick Wall won his cup with Colorado. Right? He was there the whole time. Brodeur definitely won multiple cups with New Jersey. Just New Jersey. Hasek didn't win one.
No, but
What do you mean? Without moving?
I'm talking about guys that have spent an entire career on one team.
Oh, there's very few. Everyone.
Yeah, the last one would have been Brodeur.
That's why.
Yeah, Brodeur. Well, at the end of his career, Brodeur moved around, right? He went to St. Louis, and
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is that like?
And
I'm
Wall was
thinking that
Montreal, and he
Carey
won. He
Price-
won them in. Yeah. Oh, Wall won one in Montreal too. Did he not? He won it in '93 with them, right?
That's what I'm saying. These guys, like these goalies, these big goalies, when they were hot, they were bought up and they were fucking shipped around to the teams that needed a fucking goalie to win a Stanley Cup, and then they won it. Carey Price has not ever been in that position with Montreal. Montreal never been a cup contender.
Well, the few years they were.
There was
like the Subban, their young Subban years.
They didn't even make. Yeah, well, that was the
It was
last
like
time
second
he was in
round of the
playoffs.
playoffs or whatever they made, right? But they looked really good because they had Carey Price.
One time, One
I
time.
think it was like 2 years,
You-
like you said. There was
you
two
could look at a
seasons.
guy
There was
like
like
Ed
two
Belfour.
seasons. There was like two seasons where they're like, "Whoa, Montreal, watch out."
You talk about a guy like Ed Belfour. He bounced like he went to like 6 different fucking teams
Yep.
before he got a cup.
He got a cup in Dallas, correct? He won it with the foot in the crease, right? Against Buffalo?
Yeah.
Against Hasek.
Yeah.
I think that's the only
So-
one he won.
I think if
He almost won one in Toronto in like 03.
almost that close,
Not that
fucking
close. That was like a third round exit, like the semifinals. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. What about Quick? Doesn't Quick have 2 or 3 Stanley Cup
Yep.
appearances? Maybe 1 or 2 wins, and he's been with the same team the whole time. And we haven't mentioned his name at all.
Jonathan Quick's another one. He
Yeah.
just didn't flash up on my radar
So
when
he
I looked
could be
up
a
at
Hall of
the
Famer,
stats.
right?
The all-time goalie stat thing I pulled up was filtering by wins, right? So there are other categories that they look at.
Where's I think saving percentage is a huge category. Like that's
Save
huge.
percentage
And
is massive.
Carey Price is one of the highest among all the people. If you compare save percentage to those in
Career save
in the actual
percentage?
Hall of Fame, career
Dominic
save
Hasek
percentage.
has the highest all-time. Maybe that's why he's in there.
Let's look at
Tuukka
you had-
Rask is number 2. There's another goalie that's probably going to make the Hall of Fame before Carey Price. Tuukka Rask.
Yeah,
There's goalies in the league right
Rask
now
is retired
that
though,
are
right?
ahead of him. Rask isn't retired. He's still playing for the Bruins. Right? And all the stats you're mentioning, there are active goalies in the NHL all ahead of him in these stat categories. Active goalies. And ones that have retired that aren't in the Hall of Fame ahead of him in all these stat categories that you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's not a one stat fucking pulls them. Like
I know it's a
collective
I
stat.
know it's a
Yes,
collective
there's
stat.
always going to be someone better than you in every single stat. You're not going to be the best goalie in every fucking stat.
I understand that, but it's the fact that there's active goalies still in the league that are better than him and ones that are already retired that aren't in the Hall of Fame ahead of him.
That might have one stat that are ahead of him. Yes.
No,
One,
still conglomerate. Like that's games played. That's a stupid one. Goals against average. Tuukka Rask ahead of him. Jonathan Quick ahead of him. Pekka Rinne ahead of him. Jaroslav Hack ahead of him. Jake Allen ahead of him. Brian Elliott ahead of him. Carey Price is 39th all time on goals against average. Save percentage. He is 16th. Pretty good. Wins. We talked about this. 21st. Does he have a lot of career left? Yes.
You'll see him climb and win.
Shutouts. 33rd. Ahead of him in the league. Tuukka Rask, Halak, Jonathan Quick, Pekka Rinne, Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yes, but I'm not saying shutouts is the one defining characteristic.
No, there isn't. But I just named like the 3 main categories in goaltending, and there are goalies ahead of him, and all the same goalies ahead of him in every stat that are in the league right now.
Yes. How many seasons has Tuukka Rask been in the league?
A lot.
Fucking 18, 19 seasons.
Games played.
You have to consider.
He is
games played is
played less games than Carey Price.
really.
Mm-hmm. Carey Price has 692 games played. And you got to remember, Boston has really been platooning 2 goalies for the past like almost 5 years and giving him a lot of rest. What was the one that where the hell is he? Tuukka, where are you? He only has 550. He almost 100 less games played.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tuukka Rask is a Hall of Famer before Carey Price. Marc-Andre Fleury is a Hall of Famer before Carey Price. In the league right now. They have
Okay,
better
so
stats.
when you asked me for other goalies,
Other goals? Yeah. Go for
I
it.
came up with
Jonathan Quick,
and
yeah.
Crawford both have 2 cups, and Corey Crawford both
Yes.
have 2 cups.
If we're talking cups, yes.
So they should automatically be in.
No. It's a combination. As Chris said, it's a combination. I think the cup puts certain players over the top. And that Carey Price Cup puts him in that Tuukka Rask, Marc-Andre Fleury conversation instantly, in my opinion, because of the other stat line. But there are better goalies in the league right now ahead of him. So if he were to stop playing today, he would not be in the Hall of Fame, is my point.
He played on a shit team for the last 14 seasons.
That sucks.
2 decent seasons.
Sucks.
How many times has Boston made it to the playoffs?
Do you know how many do you know how many great goalies have played on shit teams their whole career and now they're not in the Hall of Fame because of it? A lot.
Yeah, maybe.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, I guess. But like, you take a guy like Tuukka Rask and you say, okay, yeah, he's a great goalie. Okay, I'm not saying he's a bad goalie. He's a great goalie.
I'll have you know, Marty Brodeur scored 2 goals.
Championship contending teams for the last 10 years. Boston has been in the playoffs.
He also played 100 less games.
Carey Price in Boston, you think he does the same fucking thing Tuukka Rask does?
Goalie management.
Let's just fuck stats. Fuck stats.
Yes.
Let's talk about pure skill.
Yes.
Then fucking you put guys in the Hall of Fame based on their skills.
Yes. But skill is subjective at that point then.
Exactly. To the people that are voting.
We'll see.
So if you were voting, you would say, nah, Carey Price, I don't think he really made an impact on the game of hockey.
Oh, he definitely did. That's not the
question.
I
don't think he was one of the most prolific Canadian goaltenders of the modern era.
That's not the question.
That's the new question. That's the question I'm asking right fucking now. Oh my
god! And then I just answered it. Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying.
So the
question was
just clip that. Just clip. You agree that Carey Price deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
No, that's not what I said.
That's what you basically just said.
Not what I said at all. Not what I said at all. Oh shit! Hold on, I unplugged you. I don't have to hear you whine here. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Oh, there we go. I can hear you again.
You know what?
That's hilarious.
Okay, so just coming back to something you mentioned earlier about players that go directly in, like that waive the fucking 3-year wait period.
The
bullshit.
Exceptional status,
right?
It'd be similar to like the exceptional status young player that gets into the draft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the last one was Wayne Gretzky, right? 98,
99.
That's fucking 99. Sorry, that's crazy. You would think that.
Well, the bar is high. It's Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
So now you have to be someone better than Wayne Gretzky to get that exceptional status.
Let me ask you: do you think if you had to pick someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick someone right now to get waived and get in the Hall of Fame the minute they retire,
Sidney Crosby.
Okay,
that's it.
That was gonna be my question. Do you think that Sidney Crosby deserves that exceptional status?
Interesting.
Do you think that, and also do you think maybe you might be a little bit biased on the fact that he's, Canadian, but he's decorated, He's not, he's not the best goal scorer. He wasn't the most exciting player, but he was a fucking workhorse.
He was, though. When he was Sid the Kid, he was
when
ridiculous.
He was Sid the Kid, yes. And then when he grew up in his later years, it was a little bit reliable.
We all go McDavid's insane. We forget about it, what Crosby was in his first 5 years. He was unbelievable. You know how he had the injuries. He got the concussions. It slowed him down. You know how we're all saying McDavid's insane? Well, I got a really good stat to pull up.
You pulling that one about his points?
Yes, the one I sent you the TikTok. How quickly he got to 500. Like
it was
paraphrase it, right? First 100 points took 92 games. Next, from 200 to 100 to 200 took 82 games. From 200 to 300 took 68 games, and it went down and down and down. He's getting better. He's exponential. So he got 500 points in whatever amount of games. Crosby did the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yes, he was that electrifying at that time. And he still can't control the play, and he can take over still to this day. If you ever watch a Crosby game closely, at his age, he still does it.
Still, yeah.
And he's got 3 Stanley Cups. He's got 2 gold medals. He has a World Junior Championship. He has multiple Hart trophies. He has playoff Conn Smythe. He's done it all. He's done everything you could do as a hockey player. He's won every award, other than something like the Lady Byng and like those other like obscure ones. But he's done it all.
Yeah.
Christ,
So
he
you
might even
think
have a
that-
Lady Bing. I don't know.
And he'll still finish like 1,400 points behind Gretzky, which means he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because he's not going to come close.
No.
His...
That's
That's not
it's
what
not-
we're saying. No.
I think
If Wayne Gretzky is now the stepping stone, sorry, the Hall of Fame's closed.
Yeah,
where the doors are
exactly.
closed.
I
There's a
don't know.
99
Well, not
on the
close.
door,
McDavid
and you got to
might-
figure it out.
Might crack that. McDavid will probably crack that.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, my Lord. You want to talk about untouchable records?
I don't think anybody will ever.
Thank you, Matt. No one will ever touch Wayne Gretzky's record. Ever. Do you know some of his stats, Chris? They're insane.
I know they're insane.
Don't just blow me off like that. Tell me one of his wild stats, because I have them in my brain, because that's how
No,
insane
I
they are.
don't have them in my brain.
Yeah, exactly. He scored 92 goals
Oh,
in a season.
Hey, you fucking said that earlier. Okay, that's
say
the only
that
reason
earlier.
that's in your brain because you look at that. Yeah, I'm
212 points
sure you
in a
said that
season.
earlier in the
212 points in a season.
Hey, you said you knew them off the top of your
Do
head,
you
and I
know-
can see your eyes reading the
do you-
fucking monitor.
Do you know that?
No, you already have it in your head. Okay,
No, there's
I'm
nothing
not- Oh my
Oh
god.
my god! I literally just have his stats up here, but it's not his stats. I googled Wayne
Yeah.
Gretzky stats. It's still on the Google page. He has the most goals ever, right? I think it's like 897, something like that. Okay, and if you took away his 897 goals, he would still be the highest point-getting player in the league with his assists.
Yes, I know. It's stupid. But look what you look what you look at what
McDavid will
McDavid
not
did
touch it.
last season with Draisaitl, right? Like Draisaitl had what?
894. I was close. 1,487 games played, 2,857 points. 212 points in 1982, 215 points in 1986.
He was the only real hockey player.
92 goals scored in 80 games. 50 goals in 39 games. He's insane. No one will touch that. And to even say McDavid will come close is disgusting.
Sorry, I offended you.
In his first 5 years in the league, he had 137 points, 164 points, 212 points, 196 points, and 205 points. He had more points in his first 5 years than McDavid in his first 2 seasons. You see what I'm saying? It's untouchable. It will never, ever happen again. And then he went to the Kings and the Rangers and slowed down. And by slowed down, I mean in his last 2 years, he scored 90 points and 62 points. Which, someone like William Nylander scoring 62 points is a successful season, and he's getting paid $8.5 million a year.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went on a tangent there because I get really offended when people say Wayne Gretzky isn't the greatest of all time.
I didn't say he wasn't the greatest of all time. Putting words in my mouth. I said that McDavid could.
Oh,
maybe
just like
touch
when you said that I said that Carey Price was a Hall of Famer. Is that what you're saying?
it. That's exactly what you said.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
It's on the podcast forever. You're never going to be able to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
it's
yes,
etched.
he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. That's what you said. Verbatim.
Right, word for word. Anyways, sorry. Go on. Whatever you were gonna say, I'm sure it's still in there because you've been listening to me banter.
No,
for
we were
25 minutes.
talking. We were just talking about Crosby, and then like I think if you're ever gonna break that early
The exceptional
press
status
fucking-
thing. Yeah,
exceptional status, it's gonna be Crosby.
yeah.
What about for Ovechkin? How
No.
about that? How
No.
like no
If he kept his pace,
Ovechkin?
and this COVID year didn't happen, and he kept scoring 50, 60 goals a year, and he passed Wayne in goals. But I don't think he can pass Wayne anymore.
What's he at? I don't even look it up. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
He's
He's a
do you
couple
not
hundred
think
behind.
though that
He's
having
like
that back and forth,
100 and some 200 behind, something like that. Sorry.
it was a very interesting rivalry to have for the last fucking it'll be 20 years by the time it's over, right? But it was something to see. Like I think that having Ovechkin
Like
being
Crosby,
that
you're
prominent,
talking about the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry.
yes,
Of
yes.
the past 10, 15 years, yeah.
So to be like undoubtedly, oh yeah, Crosby. I was like, fucking Ovi was doing what Crosby couldn't do. You know what I mean? Like
Score
he was
goals.
almost the polar opposite of him. Yeah,
Score
yeah,
goals and not win championships.
but he won one.
He won one.
And he stayed. He stayed.
And so did
and won
Sid.
one.
And so did Sid. No,
Yeah,
we're
he won
talking about
3.
exceptional. We're talking about an exceptional status. I think Sydney's the only one in the league right now over Ovi.
I think you put them both in at the same time.
Here's one. And I don't. Do you think McDavid Matthews is the new Sid Ovi?
McDavid Matthews? No.
No? What do you think it is? If there
I
is a
think
new,
McDavid's on another level.
if there is
Matthews is good, but I don't think there's a I need to prove I'm better than him mentality around it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever been like a I don't think it's ever really been like a contest between them. I think McDavid is always just going to be like, if you could pick Matthews or McDavid, everybody would take McDavid. If you could go, oh, would you take Crosby or Ovechkin? At the time when they were both in those young rookie seasons, you would have a hard time. You'd be like, well, Crosby's
That's the first smart thing you've said all day, homie. I'll give you that right there. First intelligent thing that came out of your mouth all day. I agree with that. That's definitely a correct statement. Yeah. Right now, if you said who would you take number 1 overall with these two in the draft based on this, that this is what their first 5 years are going to be, because that's where they're at right now. Everyone will be like, McDavid, thank you. Right?
Yeah.
So, yes, and at the time, season 3, season 4 of the Crosby-Ovechkin debate, everyone was like, well, I'll take Crosby because of this. I'll take McDavid. Not McDavid. I'll take Ovechkin because of this. And that debate isn't as fierce with your Matthews, McDavid. So, yeah, that's a good point.
I've never looked at it as a rivalry. I think that it's always been looked at and kind of like, oh, Matthews could be better than McDavid.
Yeah.
But
the reason why the McDavid Matthews isn't too is because your Crosby Ovechkin one it came out of the lockout year, so they were drafted in separate seasons, but they both were the rookies in the same year coming out of the lockout, so that was huge. Where McDavid had a year up on Matthews right now in the league, being 15-16 versus 16-17.
Yeah.
So,
but like the thing with McDavid too is that like you don't see a lot of these like. That's why you're so quick to shun Ovechkin and be like, I didn't win. But like that whole dynamic over the last 20 years of hockey, like not 20 years, not quite yet, but it will be by the time it's done, like I said, is something that is like very rare. Like I don't know if that ever happened back in the day. It was always, one guy, he's a superstar, he's a fucking
there was always comparables like Mario and Messier and all that kind of stuff. There was always that going on. They always pick 2, and they pop them together.
Yeah, there's always that comparison, but like
I don't know, was Mario and Messier compared, or was that the same era, Matt? Mario and Messier, or am I insane?
They would have been very close. I think.
A little bit of crossover.
Yeah,
but anyways, Mario had his health issues, and it kind of slowed him down. But it would have been nice to watch Mario in his prime, because. You hear he was the last like great like goal scorer until Ovechkin.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why.
I don't think Mario had teams as deep as what Wayne had.
Right.
Because you bring in Yager, can maybe pick up a key defenseman, but you'll never be able to rhyme off like. Those whole teams in the Oilers dynasty, you could probably name 8 guys easily before you start to stumble over who else was on the team, and you can't do that with Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mario, his year where he could have, like, talking about being like a elite goal scorer, he had in his 5th season an 85-goal season in 76 games, so he probably had a chance to touch Wayne's record, and he didn't get there. So that's how elite Mario was, right? And he played all the way up until Crosby's rookie year. If you don't remember that, he was the captain with Sidney Crosby on the ice. That's a gnarly thing to think about. It's cool that sports crossover, right? Where like how many players are
Yep.
touched by a certain player, like lineage. You ever watch Steve Dangle's trade trees? They're very interesting. Like the Wayne Gretzky trade tree is still alive. He did one, like, I don't know, I want to say, oh, Chris died.
I'm still here. Keep talking.
Okay. The Wayne Gretzky trade tree is still alive. What a trade tree is basically like you trade A for B, and later A gets traded again for B, and then B gets traded for C and D. You know what I mean? It keeps moving. That trade for Wayne is still alive, and there's still a prospect out there that is directly related to the Wayne Gretzky trade. It's like an hour-long video, but if you're interested in that, like, trade, like that GM stuff where it's like about trades and money, it's a very good show to watch. If you have an hour and you're like bored, look up Steve Dangle's Wayne Gretzky trade tree. What you doing? Are you taking your pants off over there, homie? Got no pants on now, dog? What's going on, dog?
Like he mentioned Yager, and then you just think of a guy like Yager, man.
Oh, and
like,
it just
holy
gotta get those pants off.
He played forever.
Oh, Yager? Yeah, it's like Jumbo Joe.
90 to 18.
Yeah.
1990 to 2018.
28-year
28
career.
seasons.
See,
He's
that
still playing in Czechoslovakia,
that
right?
14-year contract would have been
He's still playing in
fantastic.
Czechoslovakia.
Now, he didn't play every season. He missed a couple. He missed 3
In the
years.
NHL.
Yeah.
He went to the K.
Yeah,
right?
he was always playing. So just his NHL stats alone, man. 1,700 games played, 1,900 points. It's fucking... That guy was something else, man.
Yeah.
He was fun to watch. He was always fun to watch because it was like when it started getting like the late 2000s, it was like, oh man, he's fucking done. Like, like he's still good, but everyone kept looking at him like, he's old, but like, fuck, he can still score 30 goals. He can still give 50 assists. Get 80 points a season. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He was an anomaly in hockey, man. Like,
Workhorse. The most recent comparable, not for sports, but just for like, Iron Man and playing is currently Jumbo Joe, right? Like playing into it. He's 41. So.
Yeah. Is it not Jumbo Joe and Marleau?
Is Marleau still on the Sharks?
There's one more.
Oh no, he's on the Pens.
I believe so.
He's on the Penguins.
I believe so.
Is he playing though actively, or is he just in the organization? I don't think he's making that roster at his age. But yeah, the other is Spezza at 39 as well. He's old.
Thornton got 1,500 points in just about as many games.
There you go.
So Yager's in the Hall of Fame before Jumbo Joe.
Yes.
Hands down. Yeah, Joe Thornton's been in the league since 97.
Yeah.
Fuck. These old guys, man.
Gnarly,
They don't belong. They don't belong, but somehow
here
they're
we
still
go. I
around.
got the list. I got the list of the oldest players currently playing in the NHL.
He's back with the Sharks.
He's back with the Sharks. Okay.
Marleau?
16 games in this season.
Okay. Oldest. How'd we forget? Big Z. Chara.
A fucking loser.
Right. He's playing for it's his current team, Boston. This is an old
in Washington.
This is an old thing. This might not be active if it's still saying he's playing for Boston. This might be all wrong. But we know Jumbo is. Marleau. Yeah, it says Marlowe's playing for Pittsburgh, so this is an old article. Ron Hainsey. He's 38. Is he still playing?
Is he still in Ottawa?
I think so. I can't confirm. Justin Williams. He's back with the Hurricanes, right?
Carolina.
Lundqvist, obviously done with his heart surgery stuff. So that's fake. Andy Green at 37. Defenseman. Koivu. Miko. Did he not hang him up? I don't know.
He just retired.
He did hang him up. Kovalchuk, he's done too, right? Or is he out in LA?
He just came back. He
Ilya?
just came back fucking last season, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. And then Spezza. playing for the Leafs, is number 10 on this article from obviously last year. Yeah. Interesting. Anyways, we're up at like an hour and 20 minutes, guys.
37 or 39?
We're kicking ass here. I think I want to say he's 39, but it could be 38. Late 30s for Jason. He still looks great. Watching him every night when I watch him.
He's
a good fourth liner. He's a good fourth liner.
You know, it makes me so sad when it's like I'm turning 30 this year, and it's like we're talking about Jason Spezza like this old fuck.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm not that old.
I'm sitting here idolizing like a 23-year-old in Austin Matthews.
Isn't it fucking disgusting?
I was talking to my mom about that.
I was looking.
I was like, I'm in love with a 23-year-old man.
When Matt was telling me the fucking lineup for the Jays, I was like looking at him like Bo Bichette. It was like 99. Yeah. I'm like, what? Why is he so young? I'm like, George Springer, who's like, been around baseball, 89. He's only 2 years older than I am, for fuck's sake.
I know.
31 years old. I'm like,
you find out how he's an elder statesman. Like John Tavares, he's like, he was born in 1990. What?
Exactly.
Matt's listening to us like, shut up, guys.
Spez is 37, guys.
37, okay.
There you go.
Matt was around when they were still pressing vinyl on the first runaround. That's the first old jab I've taken all day. Okay, you gotta give me a break.
Yeah.
All right, let's start to wrap it up here. We're at an hour 22 here. Any last words?
Yeah, Carey Price Hall of Fame.
Time flies. And, time flies.
Crosby Ovi at the same time.
Okay.
We put them in together, the duo.
Okay.
The duo.
So you're done. Matt, last words?
It's like you, man. I can get as many last words as I want.
I say
I'm done.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, now I'm done. But that's my decision, not his.
Right. Matt?
Yeah, I'm happy with this. Good night.
Oh, my last words were going to be having fun. Isn't hard when you have a library card.
we gotta get Matt a signature sign off. Like you just
got
gotta
a rap or something.
Take your hat, throw it at the camera, and then shut it off at the same time.
Ooh.
I don't know if you hear what I said there. Yeah.
No, I think we'll sign off every
We'll work on that one.
Every game with our bandwagon picks, because we kind of got away from it and we did it last one, so we'll do it again.
Yes.
We did a full hockey podcast here, so let's do different. We don't know much about the NBA past the Raptors. Let's all be honest. We know the big stars. We know all that, but let's look up
a basketball sleeper.
The scoreboards. You're a basketball sleeper, okay? We're gonna do we're gonna do a Tuesday night pick, a bandwagon pick. We'll see if I can keep my beautiful record. Let's go with the LeBron James team.
Why would you fucking...
That's their name. They're not the LA Lakers. They're the LeBron James team. You don't like that game?
No. I don't want to fucking pick a Lakers game.
Okay. We'll do three games again. And I'm just going to pick, and you have to pick a team, so I don't care what you say. Bulls versus Rockets.
Bulls.
Matt?
They have people on that team.
Rockets.
Different. Tie game. What was the under/over on the tie? Do I get like a real good push with that if it goes to overtime? I'll take Rockets based solely on the fact that they're the home team.
You're gonna pick based on your home away picks? It's not a good idea.
Shut up. It worked well last time. Okay, let's. That was an East-West matchup. Let's do. Let's keep them all East-West, just so that we can see who's got some bias. Heat versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Who is your bandwagon pick here?
Do you know what's sad? I'll go with OKC. But
Dead kittens?
They don't have Westbrook anymore, right?
No.
See, this is a problem. Basketball in my mind is like 3 years ago, which was like the last time I watched it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, you take Houston for Harden, right? But Harden's not in Houston anymore, is he?
No.
Fuck. See? I have no idea where anyone is in basketball right now. No fucking clue.
So you picked OKC. Matt?
Yeah. Yeah.
She said something that didn't pick it up.
Say it again.
I'll take the Heat. Heat.
The Heat. I will also take the Heat.
Oh, I'm taking the Heat again.
Okay. You're writing all this down, Matt? Are you keeping track? Oh my goodness. And the last one, the LeBron James team. The Washington Wizards versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Big matchup
Lakers.
here. Maddie? Ooh, good thing we're ending it. We're getting a lot of lag now. I will also take the Lakers. Matt, we can't hear you.
I got a delay on my end. I missed the second team.
Washington
Holy
versus
fuck,
LA.
The delay is like
Lakers.
30 seconds.
Oh
said
man,
Lakers.
it's bad. Lakers
You
cap.
said Lakers.
Lakers cap. Good, we got it. There we go. Those are our bandwagon picks. I think I'm going to be 3 for 3 for the first time.
I highly doubt that.
Rockets, Heat, Lakers. Let's go. Monday night. And we will sign off. We'll see everyone next week sometime whenever we do another one of these. And where can you catch us, guys? YouTube, Two Fans in a Bandwagon, and here on Podbean. Maybe one day we'll expand our horizons. I'm not sure.
Fucking right.